Paul the Surf Junkie. Really love your videos. Um, how to explain this? How to express myself? Can you kind of see yourself, the smallest of yourself in your experience, and then kind of see how that same thing is actually going on in the bigness of ourselves? Can you kind of see you're all over the place, kind of living in a chaos, and the whole world is kind of all over the place and living in a chaos? Can you see that a lot of us want peace, and yet we get distracted into everything that's not peace? The whole friggin' planet wants peace, but yet we're all getting distracted. We're all got this chaos going on. I find it really, really funny because some of the sciences, some people call it New Age, it's, we've got all these words that says don't go down there. Religious people can't go down a New Age group, and everybody's got something negative to say about everything. It's really, really funny. What I've noticed is, yeah, a lot of things are distracting you into going down a path you don't want to go down. You want to be really, really positive, but you want to be informed, and you want to kind of prevent things because, this is what I was seeing when I went through friggin' hell, and I was like, hey, help me, help me, help me, and nobody else was out there helping. And then you run across these people that say, just be the love, and it's like, just being the love didn't help me. It didn't help stop that guy from throwing his bombs on me. It didn't help that guy from not beating the crap out of me. It didn't stop, stealing my money. It didn't help me, put food on the table. I'm being the friggin' slave. I'm working 24/7. I'm getting 1 hour sleep a night, and I need some help because I can't fight you people. And then you get these peaceful people that say, oh, just be the love. It's like they're friggin' brain dead. It's there's no love in action. And yet they think that that's going to be the answer to everything. And then they've medical marijuana, isn't that an amazing thing? And yet you still have a back problem. Kind of really understand the logic, because that, marijuana, I happen to see it's kind of the healthiest drug out there, but it's still a friggin' drug. And it's like, how come none of us are saying, why do I have a back problem in the first place? What's the cause of my back problem? If you kind of notice, just about every illness that humans are experiencing, there's always a stress involved with it. And there's always a path that can take you down, the negative path that you don't want to go, and then you get all stressed out, and then even doing something you love, like, oh, maybe surfing, can give you a back problem. Why? Could it be that you gotta fit in as much surfing as possible because they're destroying the planet and I may not be able to enjoy it all the time? Or can you actually really find the peace, get rid of the stress, really enjoy life when you're surfing? Or does surfing happen to injure you? Is what you love doing actually the thing that injures you? Why does that make any common sense that doing something you love can actually do harm to you? Something else is going on. There's another reality going on, and from my perspective, it is the distractions. It is all of these negative paths that we want to go down. We want to keep informed so that we want to make sure we're not doing the wrong thing. And, it is negative energy, and you get caught up in that negative energy. And what I find is, every path you take it with a perspective of love. Find the love of something. Do not go into hate of anything. Really try and look at, okay, all of the negative bullshit, and see how you can be really, really peaceful and calm and have zero stress while looking at all of the negative shit. It's sort of like a test. Can you do it? Um, for me, I find that being the peace, being the love that I want the whole friggin' world to do is more of an example, because we're like little robots and we'll imitate somebody else. If somebody else appears to be having some answers and they are feeling good, then we'll all levitate towards that direction. Right now, all of us are in fear, and we want to constantly, experience more and more and more of that fear, and we're all looking for answers, but we happen to think that the more we fear, the more we'll find our answers, and that's kind of insane. Um, so it's like, if you were calm and asking better questions, what's good about this? How can I grow from this? You know, how can you be the example that others can view? That's why I kind of love your channel, because you were going down the path of this is all the doom and gloom, and now you want to shift into a more positive path, and you're setting the example by just letting other people observe your own personal path and see if you're successful at it. Can you get peaceful? Can you solve problems that you are experiencing? Can you love your life? How do you make it all happen? And if you set the example of that, and see that, yeah, I don't like talking about my past or my personal experience. Maybe I'm a little crazy and I don't want the world to see my craziness. But if we all can kind of see that we're all a little crazy, we all have a past that we're ashamed of, we've all made mistakes, and we can all say, oh, oops, I was wrong. So what is right? I personally setting my channel up as more of a diary. you know, I am offering some advice that, or sharing the information that I found helped me, and saying, is anybody else in agreement with that? Like, what path can we set that goes in a completely different direction than where we're going? I happen to agree 100% that, and with religion, and my saying is, will the real God please stand up? Because we have this insane thing going on, and I don't think any religion quite sort of sees what they're doing, but they're all saying, you got to believe me or you're going to hell. No, you got to believe me or you're going to hell. No, you got to believe me or you're going to hell. And it's like, okay, there's 20 of you guys out there, and if I don't believe each one of you, I'm going to hell. So which one do you choose? You're going to hell no matter which religion you believe in. So, I mean, even choosing no religion, you're going to hell. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you guys, you play your own friggin' game. If I find it easier just to, go with the flow. Okay, I'm going to hell. I'm at peace with it. I'm kind of loving hell. Hell puts a smile on my face. I'm loving hell, you know. And then my life seems to be a lot easier. I give up the fight. It seems like the more I can stop fighting the universe, the more I end up gaining some strength. Bruce Lee has a really interesting concept, says that you're the strongest when you're going with the flow of the energy. So if everybody says you're crazy, all of a sudden, as soon as I said, hey, okay, I'm crazy, then nobody's telling me I'm crazy anymore. They just started paying me for being crazy. It's like, what do you mean? By me saying I'm not crazy, and me trying to prove to you that I was crazy, I was being a friggin' slave to the society. I can make this system work, and, I'm living off of 1 hour sleep a day just trying to prove I'm not crazy. And you mean that life got a lot easier as soon as I admitted I was crazy? Okay, I'm crazy. So it's, life sure is interesting. It's just, I wouldn't be ashamed of any of your mistakes or anything that you've got to say or anything at any aspect of what path you're on right now. There's nothing wrong. You are exactly where you need to be. And when you need to be someplace different, you will be. You are discovering yourself. And not only that, you're setting the example of everybody else discovering themselves. And it's like if the whole freaking planet just sort of discovered themselves. You know, if they all just decided, hey, if I really want peace, then peace in action. You know, this idea of getting peace through throwing a bomb is like, I don't know, does that work for you? Paul, if I threw a bomb at your house, would that make you angry and you throw a bomb at my house? And then, you kind of kill some of my family members. You kind of get me a little pissed off. So, you know what? I'm going to throw a bigger bomb on you. And then I'm going to kill a few of your family members. Does that kind of help you get peace? Doesn't that make you want to build a bigger bomb and kind of bomb me back and kill more of my family members? And then after we do that game for, a couple of 100 years, at the end of the day, are we only fighting because you keep throwing bombs at me and I keep throwing bombs at you? I mean, at the end of the day, doesn't peace mean that we sort of put down our bombs and say, okay, I'm wrong, you're wrong, what's right? I don't see anybody sort of sitting down at a table going, okay, I was completely wrong. Really, really sorry. I stopped throwing any bombs at you. Both sides of war ended up doing that. Maybe we'd experience peace. But we got too much, hey, you killed my parents, I'm going to get even with you. No, you killed my parents, I'm going to get even with you. And then we got the nice little media there just kind of, hey, remember, he killed your family. Remember, you got to kill him. Remember, he's got these big bombs, so you got to make bigger bombs. And then the other media is like, oh, remember, he just did this to you. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget. It's all about getting even. You got to be bigger, be stronger. Some of these really, 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 really intelligent people, the ones that are really connected with God, they're the ones that are the most fucked up on the planet. And yet we want to read what they're up to all the time. And it's like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, they're all insane. And when I've talked to some people, that have been diagnosed with mental illness. I mean, really, really severe mentally ill people, and I happen to know the story that they are experiencing, and I know it really well. And they're not talking logical. They're kind of all over the place and acting a little insane, like the medical advice is suggesting they act like. As soon as I tell them, you know what, you're perfectly normal living in an insane world, all of a sudden they calm right down and they talk perfectly logical. As soon as they can kind of, oh, somebody sees that I'm normal, then they give up the fight and they start having logical conversations. It's a really wild thing to watch. Peace out.